Hello and welcome to the latest This is the Music Meets podcast. Today's guests are Maystones, an indie four-piece hailing from Bishop Stortford in Hertfordshire, who take influence from all of the great British rock and roll bands. Over the course of today's podcast, we're going to chat about the band's recent single, their new EP, live music, and much, much more. So Maystones, welcome to the show. Before we get stuck into today's podcast, can you let the listeners know who you are and what you do in the band?
I'm Steve. So I'm Steve. I play the drums.
I'm Henry. I play the bass.
James. I'm a singer.
I'm Zach. I play guitar.
Excellent stuff. So how long ago then did you form? Because I think we come across each other about 2000, I think, wasn't it? 2020 even rather. Yeah, that's a long time ago. And kind of like where did you get the name from?
Do you know what? I actually can't even remember how we got the name. I think I remember we were looking at toilet graffiti on Google, looking for inspiration. And I'm pretty sure I saw the word Maystones to do something. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, that sounds good.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know that.
and kind of like, how did you all know each other? Did you like go to school, college type of thing, or?
So me and Zach went to school together, and we kind of started. We used to mess around like downstairs on the drums and guitar for years.
Yeah.
And then after that, James is from the local area as well.
Yeah.
So we knew that. And then Henry joined like a year ago, just like for a mutual mutual friend of your dad, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that's it. We've been together like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And obviously, as we say, releasing music since 2020, not
Since the day we were born.
Since day one.
So obviously, as you guys know here at This Is the Music, we like to champion new bands like yourselves that obviously are trying to make their way on in the scene. So kind of like across the last 12 months or so, sort of what bands or solo artists have been catching your eye?
I'd say Fontaines has got to be there for me.
Yeah, Fontaines DC.
I mean, we saw them last week. Was it last week or week before?
Last week.
Yeah, last week, and unbelievable.
Yeah,
probably one of the best. And we've seen quite a few people this year. It's one of the best bands that we've seen all year. And
just got that vibe.
Yeah,
it's got that vibe.
Fucking class.
Yeah, sure. And is there anyone for you, Steve or Henry? Anyone for you at all?
Go on, is it?
Probably Red Hot Chili Peppers that I see middle of this year. Probably a big expansion.
Yeah, and then Fontaines for me as well. So I saw them literally yesterday over in Ireland and come straight back. Yeah.
Right, nice.
At the moment, they're my favourite because they're doing their own thing.
It's completely
kind of new sound, isn't it? So
completely different sound to everyone else.
Yeah.
Moment for sure.
Sure, great choice, and obviously, as we all know, Chili's are obviously a legendary band. So obviously, we're gonna come on and chat a little bit in a moment about your new EP, which is due out as we're recording this a couple of days before it's released. So can you we'll just talk about first of all about the song that preceded it, which was obviously "Shadow on My Soul." It's obviously riff-filled anthem, pure rock and roll for me. Great track. So kind of like, how did that track come about? Is it one that you've been sitting on for a little while, or is it something that's only just sort of occurred quite recently?
It was written in like the 2020, I think, the end of 2020.
Yeah,
and we've just been playing it live a lot.
Yeah, we love playing it
and
live.
It just sounds fucking big live. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was definitely the one we had to do next when we could. So, and hence why it's the lead single.
It's definitely kind of like the fan favourite as well when you play it.
Yeah. People do tend to like.
Got a nice
sitting on it for a while, so it's nice to finally have it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think the reaction to it I think has been great, and listening to what you were just saying there about it going down really well live. I'm not surprised to hear that, because I can hear why people would be well up for it, so to speak, when it does when you get them opening riffs out. And and obviously, as we said there, the EP Return from Tomorrow. Obviously, it comes out on Friday. We're recording this on Tuesday. So kind of like, why did you decide to release like an EP like now? Is this kind of like marking where you are as a band at this moment in time? Is it help bringing us into like a new chapter of the, like, closing one door, so to speak, and then opening another door with what might become in the future?
Yeah, I'd definitely say it's
100%.
the sort of start of the direction that we wanted to go in the first place, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the first EP we did in 2020 was like, it was like the first time in a studio for us. Do you know what I mean? It was the songs,
finding our feet.
songs we wrote when we were like 17. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of like the first, and then the second one, which was actually called Return from Tomorrow. That was like our first sort of step into a newer direction. But again, I think this one is the one to start at the beginning.
Yeah, and it's definitely we're after, isn't it? This one really. I feel like we nailed it this time. So. Yeah.
And kind of like, you think this might be the especially with obviously with Shadow on My Soul, that will probably be the sort of sort of uplifting sort of like rock and roll anthems that you're going to try and.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that's the kind of sound.
That's what we like doing as well. They're our sort of favourite songs to play live. Yeah, that's why we like listening to them. So I think that's what we sort of want to produce.
Yeah. So is that kind of like, then, as a band, what you're all about then? Like, you'd rather be, obviously I know you've got to be in the studio to an extent, to obviously be getting new music out there and stuff, but is it, when you are recording, is it all thinking about, well, what's this going to sound like when we are up on the stage?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
100%. It's all about like, I think in real life you can have your reverb pedal times 10, but in the fucking studio, you get what I mean? It's always someone. Yeah, no, definitely a live sound band is what I'd say we are.
100%.
That's what we're always thinking about as well. Like, when writing songs, you're probably thinking, "I was just going to go down live." As
exactly. Not how it's 100%.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
it's all about the live sound.
Yeah, sure. And kind of like on the EP, is there a like a favourite track at all for you? One that you think this is going to be the one that's going to get like the best reaction? Obviously, I know a couple of the songs, or all three of the songs, haven't they? Have all been sort of like released across the year. But is there one song that you think, now that they're all together, that people are going to go, wow?
Yeah. So Shadow on My Soul is the first one off it, and then there's 3 new ones coming out on Friday to go alongside it.
Yeah,
that's probably Shadow on My Soul's probably up there. It's definitely kind of opening one, isn't it?
I mean, and as well, I think
probably Clocks in Silence.
Exactly that. Clocks in Silence. It's a fast tune. It's a bit, in my opinion, it's got sort of that early Kaiser Chiefs sort of vibe, early Kasabian sort of vibe. So I don't know. I like that one. It's a good one.
I think they all go together quite well, and they're definitely the kind of sound we're talking about. Kind of, I guess, loud rock and roll stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
There's definitely a full kind of song collection that definitely kind of goes for that. Because our recent releases have been acoustic stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we like that stuff, but I think our main thing is
that's how you get
the loud music.
That's how you get the people in it. Yeah, definitely.
Sure, sounds kind of like really, really exciting times for you. So, kind of like, then, when it comes to writing songs, what's like the inspiration? What's like the creative process, like for you, and how does it work with other band members? Bringing in your sort of part to the song.
I think it just depends what mood I'm in if you're writing a tune. You know what I mean? If I've had a shit day, you're not going to come home and write an uplifting tune. You know what I mean? So it literally just depends, man. If I'm listening to a certain like sound, for example, I'd reckon a sort of tune would come from there. But it does just change all the time, and that's why I think we've got such good variation, because it just depends on what mood we're in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And when you're writing, do you have like are you quite like forceful when it comes to recording and going, well, this is the sound that I've got in my head, like, Stephen, you need to do this, etc.? Or is it very much a case of, well, if you've got an idea,
definitely
jump in and
we're not going to be sat there going, right, Steve, you do this, James, you do that.
The best way, democracy is the best way, as I say. So obviously, as we mentioned, back in 2020, obviously when I first come across you guys, you obviously released a cover of Gas Panic by Oasis, which, in my opinion, you well and truly made your own and almost effectively turned it into like a completely different song to obviously to the original. So kind of like, why did you choose out of all the the classic Oasis anthems obviously that they've done, why that song?
It's just such a
the words, the words.
One of our favourites, isn't it?
Yeah, all three of us boys like. Henry's a big fan as well, but all of us. Like,
I don't know. It's just got that. It's just when you strip it back like that, and you actually hear the words and
it's
that
words,
specific harmony, for example. It's the notes. It's one of them ones you sort of sit there like, oh, I like that. Do you know what I mean? That sounds good.
And I think the fact probably it's not the most obvious one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you don't want to go out and cover Don't Look Back and Anger.
Yeah,
no, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit obvious, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But this can't be done, really.
You leave them alone.
So as I say, I almost feel you almost turned it into a completely different, different style and a different feel to the song, as well. So which I think is quite refreshing. Actually, with a cover, as you were just saying, a lot of people will go and cover the obvious ones and effectively just try and redo it. Do you know what I mean? So,
I
mean, it's all you, to be fair, isn't it?
Stop it.
And talking on the subject of Oasis, did you manage to get to see Liam at Nebworth in the summer at all, or?
All of us.
Yeah, fantastic. What did you think? Was it well worth going?
I think my inner 16-year-old self would have been very pleased. I think it's still a top day. I mean, like Sabian was fucking sick, and that's 100%. It's Cajun, isn't it?
And then we saw his brother a week later in Newcastle.
Load of Geordies a week later.
Definitely. and sorry, you just mentioned Kasabian there. How did you find it? With Serge being the front man, obviously Tom no longer in the band for well documented reasons. But was it, with Kasabian still as great as ever?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that. Serge doing well. We saw him at Brixton as well when Serge did his first few performances, and he still smashed them.
Yeah, he's got a great voice, and his energy is unreal. He's a cool guy, man. We like a lot, definitely.
Absolutely.
Serge and Kasabian are definitely influences, listening to them since we were like kids. So, do you know what I mean? Little 6-year-old driving around to shoot the runner, do you know what I
mean? Brilliant, love it. So I'm going to chuck some quick fire questions at you now. Kind of like, first of all, relating to your dream venue that you'd love to play at, what rider you'd have, and other bands that you'd like to see with you on the bill. So first of all, the venue, what are we picking?
If it was still open, Earl's Court.
You going Earl's Court?
Yeah,
Earl's Court. I'd go for nostalgic reasons, Brixton Academy. I'd love to do a night there or two.
We go to a lot of gigs at Brixton.
That's for one open now, definitely Brixton.
Danny Brown.
I'd say the O2.
Yeah, good shout.
One of the Roundhouse, because we saw the amazing Roundhouse.
That was quite a good.
First time we went, and I really liked the venue.
Roundhouse is good.
Cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
And what are you? What's going to be your entrance music for this gig?
All right. My money. If it's my choice, I'm going Submission, Sex Pistols.
Like that.
I'm gonna go Connectors, their MC.
Nice. Yep.
I might have to agree with you.
Okay, go on. I can take that.
I wouldn't even know.
We did what did before? We did Green Onions once.
Green Onions is a big favourite of ours. That was smooth. Green Onions was
when you feel Paul walking.
Exactly. Do you know what I
mean? And for this gig as well, we're going to chuck in a special announcer. So who's going to be the guy or girl who's going to get the crowd going just before you boys walk out on stage?
Your man from the boxing.
Nah.
Bruce
Oh
Buffer.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, that's it. Get him in.
Yeah,
That's it.
definitely.
Well done, Steve.
Good shout, that's Steve.
Great choice. So the lineup, obviously Maystones are playing. So I kind of need to know from you which other 4 bands are gonna play with you on the bill, and who's gonna be your headline act, your opening act, and where are you boys gonna fit in that set or on that gig date?
You know what? I put us second just so I can watch whoever's last.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Hang on.
So I say if we're going current, you want Fontaines on it just because we're big.
It'd be a bit stupid. So fair enough.
Oh,
You know what? Another mention would probably be Catfish, but early Catfish, like first album Catfish.
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it? That was great.
Exactly. We saw them when it did the balcony like in full, and it was just fucking. It was sick. It was mad. It's a great live band.
That's good. On the spot here, isn't it?
Yeah. I've had a bad as well, a bit of Radiohead.
I was going to say, even Kings of Leon with class this year, and I would even put maybe Kings of Leon in there for
early Kings of Leon.
Early Kings of Leon.
We're restricting them though to the first 3 albums. After that, it don't matter.
The crowd walked up to start, maybe have a few drinks. I mean, early Coldplay.
Yeah. we love a Coldplay B-side.
Great stuff. So, moving on now from the gigs, what is your favourite TV program?
Do you know what? Oh, mate, you got me there. It's a difficult one for me. To be fair, at the moment, I'm watching The Crown, like on that latest Crown. I hate the Royal Family, but I like that. Obviously, your obvious ones like Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
That is quality.
That was quality. And then if you're on like comedy growing up, everyone are
in between.
They love the in-betweeners.
Humour was basically based off in-betweeners.
Exactly.
So it's probably got to be that.
It's probably got to be you, isn't
it? Great choices. And what is your all-time favourite film?
Interstellar.
Really?
Interstellar.
Yeah, 100%. That film, the first time I watched it, I think my mouth was open for about 2.5 hours. I was trying to work it out the whole time and then just couldn't. So I watched it again the next night. It's so good.
I mean, I do like a couple of the sort of cult classics. I mean, like Quadrophenia is up there, one of my favourites. There's a film called The Business with Danny Dyer.
That's great. Yeah.
Used to love that.
And then, for a comedy, you got Ali G. Especially because the first time I ever watched it was with these boys, with the 2 old band members when we actually stayed up in Peterborough to record one of the first albums. And for some reason we thought we'd stay there for a week, and it was just a bit of a mad.
You loved it.
I absolutely loving it. It's the first time I ever watched it, so.
And is Peterborough any good for a night out, or did you not find that out?
I'd avoid it at all costs.
We won't get you on the Peterborough tourist board after that. And how about you, Henry? What's your favourite film?
I don't actually know, to be fair. Probably, I don't know. I like Marvel, so probably Black Panther. Probably.
Black Panther is a choice.
Do like that. I watched a new one a couple of weeks ago, and that was good. Last week.
Yeah,
that's good.
Hey, Spider-Man, to be fair, Spider-Man 2 is
I was going to say,
exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Dark Knight is unreal. Yeah. That film's fucking amazing.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter's great. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars, honorable mentions.
Exactly.
Because they promised them out.
Exactly.
And obviously, as it's that time of the year, obviously Christmas. Have you got a favourite Christmas song at all? And would you guys, obviously having covered, as we mentioned earlier, Gas Panic, would you ever consider covering, like a classic Christmas song, or would you maybe more look at writing your own sort of original track?
Favorite? Well, I think Fairy Tale in New York is obvious.
Yeah,
but
that
it probably is my favorite one anyway.
I do love a bit of War Is Over, John Lennon.
I like that. Chris Reed, Driving Home for Christmas.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That is so
That is perfect if you're driving home for Christmas.
I have been saying to the boys we should cover a Christmas song. We're doing a gig on the 23rd, so it's perfect timing, really. So
working out what we're gonna do though.
That's the thing. What can be done? I don't even know what can be done. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Think about it.
So no, probably not.
And kind of like when you look back, like across the year, obviously it's been a bigger year and a better year than last year. Is there kind of like a standout moment for you boys as a band?
Do you know what I did proper like our Water Rats gig earlier on in the year. It was Henry's first gig for us. Exactly. Like first ever.
Thrown in at the deep end then.
Exactly. It was quality, so
it was good.
Did enjoy that.
That was
good crowd.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
It's a great little venue as well.
It is, it is definitely. It's a fantastic venue. And James, as you just mentioned there, you obviously got a gig on the 23rd of December, obviously in your hometown there, Bishop Stortford. So for those people that haven't had the chance to see you yet, even like myself, kind of like what can people expect from a Maystones show?
I say big sounds and just tunes. That's the thing. Like, nice. It's
solid guitar music.
Yeah, and like to come up and down with the crowds a bit. So play like a bit of a slow tune in the middle and stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not
very
good variation.
Exactly that. You've got your fast ones, your moody ones, slow ones.
The main part's probably the loud, isn't it?
Exactly.
Good.
Like Shadow on My Soul was kind of,
loud
I say, would sum it up quite well.
It's well worth £7.
Yeah.
Hopefully something you'd want to sing the words to, that sort of thing. So,
that's great stuff. And no Christmas songs in sight either. And where is the gig? Sorry, and are there still any tickets available at all? If anyone's thinking of a last minute, piss up, I guess, on there before Christmas.
Well, it's the Horn Bishop Stortford, which is also the Half Moon pub. I think tickets be bought on the door, but we do have a link. I think
there we've got a link. If it's not up, we'll get it up on social media. It should be up.
It should be up.
I'm not sure.
Great stuff. We'll put that link even once it is up in the episode bio, and we will obviously fingers crossed that you sell it out. Obviously, it sounds like there's not many tickets left, and I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic night for everyone that does come down. So what's then next? Obviously, apart from the gig in a couple of weeks, what's next for you boys? Looking ahead, I guess really now into 2023, is there going to be plans for sort of more gigs, more music being released as well?
So we're back up to Peterborough soon, and we start recording the next EP.
Back up to Peterborough. Right, Peterborough. I'm properly excited for this one as well. I think again it's that next sort of step up for us on this one. And I know this one ain't even come out yet, but already for us this is we're excited where we're going.
The first one Henry's played on.
Exactly.
Good to get you on it.
And then on the 3rd of March next year we're headlining Water Rats with This Feeling as our first headline show.
Very looking forward to that.
Exactly.
And there's a couple we've got going on.
A couple of bits in the works, Mark.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And kind of like on that note, then with that, do you think that this is probably going to be the year that people are going to sort of next year, I should say, that people are going to hopefully step back and take more notice of Maystones?
I hope so. Yeah,
100%. I think it's one, it's getting people to listen to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like once we've got these next batch of songs out, I think it'd be sort of hard not to like it, in my opinion. Like it's good music.
Yeah.
So if you're into that sort of stuff, there's no reason why you wouldn't like it. So I definitely think we'll do well next year, 100%.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, and hopefully as well, people might be able to get to see you at a festival or two as well. Fingers crossed for that. Unfortunately, that is the end of the podcast. Lads, thanks very much for coming on. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a really, really good laugh. And obviously, I know the EP's out on Friday. So fingers crossed that gets extremely well received, which I'm sure that it will do. But before you do go, can you just let the listeners know exactly where they can find Maystones on social media?
You don't know.
So Instagram is Maystones Official, nice and easy, and then Twitter is Maystones UK. Yeah. Spotify just Maystones as well. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of one word.
Great stuff, and we will put them one word links by tags even. We'll get there eventually in the episode bio. And obviously, as we said, the EP is out on Friday and will be available across usual streaming and download platforms. And obviously, the new single as well is out now, along with a host of other great stuff that the band have released to date. So if you haven't checked it out, then I highly recommend that you do, because these boys have definitely got it. So yeah, give it a listen. All that leaves me to say is to thank everyone for tuning in to the This Is The Music Meets Maystones podcast. We will see you all very, very soon.
Yeah.
Cheers.